drama. And welcome to the Glacially Musical podcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing. I'm sorry, hang on. I got a new way of doing this. Welcome to the Glacially Musical podcast, a ghost cult joint. I don't know. I'm still working on that. Anyway, as always, it is Nick Cameron of Glacially Musical, joined by my good friend, my soon-to-be real-life friend, who's coming to live in St. Louis for a weekend, who's going to live the St. Louis lifestyle. Unfortunately, he is not willing to go to the buttery restaurant, a man who's just buttery himself, efficacious, eloquacious, aloysious, Mr. Keefy Chalkus. How are we doing today?
What an intro. I'm great. How are you?
I'll be a lot better in a minute. I'm going to be spectacular in 2.5 weeks if everything goes the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, thank you for joining us for part 18 of the GWAR series. I've lost count and I don't care. I am now working with a new system on how I do things. Hopefully you can see the kick-ass Grave Huffer and the kick-ass Mike Adams, not Mike Watt. Shit, I don't even know what's on my own walls and I put it there. Berenity now. We're going to get to the beer. Here's how we do this, of course. We have a greeting, a beer check, vinyl check, shirt check, news check, meat of the day. Again, meat of the day, GWAR, episode 4. I actually know the number. Episode 4, This Toilet Earth. The first GWAR record Nick purchased contemporarily. And as we are recording this in October, it is actually... we have 1 week left of October after we record this. So now it's the time to empty it out. Urban Chestnut, Oh Cats Octoberfest.
I like the confidence of this pour, but you're muted, so I can't hear anything.
I wasn't muted. Now you're muted.
You
And
were
because
silent, though.
it's an Oktoberfest mug.
Oh, just no pop, nothing.
2 pints.
That's weird. Okay. I like the steady hand, though. Like, all right. I got a surprise beer today. We had talked previously on a previous episode of this after-school special, the Glacially Musical podcast. We talked about the demise of Anchor Brewing here in the Bay Area, the very first craft brewing company in American history. They went out of business after being hot potatoed around by corporations because greed is horrible. There are some talks that maybe Sam Adams is going to come in and buy a stake in Anchor to keep it alive or reanimate it.
Yeah, Sam Adams can go ahead and eat their own butt.
Oh, I like Sam Adams.
They don't have a brewery. They can eat their own butt. They're a contract brewer. No notes. No.
Sam Adams is great beer, and they're great people.
You mean St. Louis Lager that they renamed Boston Lager?
Whatever.
No, it's true. That actually is true.
I managed to get my hands on a stash of Anchor beers, even though they're discontinued. So here's Anchor Steam Beer. What?
How old is it?
A month, 2 months old. They went out of business in Labor Day.
Oh.
Is the beer bad? Because, I mean, like...
Are we sure we talked about this? Because I have no recollection of this.
Definitely talked about it.
Okay.
Anyway, gonna just drink it out of the bottle. No pour. But check this out. Bitch.
Look at you. You're classy. My bottle opener is a magnet, and it's on the fridge.
Yeah, I have a really cool one that I can't find, but this one says I heart Reno, which I do heart Reno because I was just there. So cheers, my friend.
Ugh. Cheers. If you're gonna do it, do it. Hang on, Octoberfest. Ziggy Zaki. Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Ole, 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 ole.
No, that's Spanish.
Cameron.
Oktoberfest is German, sir.
I know.
Do you, though? Okay, my vinyl check this week. In June at what they call the Father's Day, my family promised me 3 records, 1 per month, off of my Discogs wish list. And in September, I got the first one. Supposed to be 1 per month starting in July. In September, I got the first one. It is Deep Purple Machine Head. It is an OG press, gatefold in the mylar. Good stuff. Wonder Kid picked this one out.
Did you just say you wonder if she's your kid? What'd you say?
No, Wonder Kid,
Oh.
because I got Lawyer Wife and Wonder Kid.
I see. Is there multiple checks today or just the single check?
Just the single this week. I'm just going to do one.
Okay. I also have a single today. I have lost a little traction on my... Managed to make it like 8 months where I more or less checked everything in order with a few exceptions. But now we're off the rails. So...
You know what? That used to never matter to me until you started talking about it every week. So now I'm like getting worried that it's no longer in order, that I've got it out of order now.
Performance anxiety. Well, I mean, like, shit happens. Things come up. Whatever. I went to go see The Corpse of Cannibal a week ago. Cannibal Corpse. In a long weekend of shows. And I waited, and I knew I was going to that tour, and I waited until that show to pick up the new album. Chaos Horrific.
Oh, is it out?
It's been out.
How do I not know this?
Like a month. And we talked about reviewing it, actually. Maybe as a chaser. But we have other chasers. I'm coming to town. We're going to invariably do a Metallica episode again. So who knows? But anyway, I waited to buy it at the show because I figured I'll save on the shipping and get the record directly from them. So I have it. But unfortunately, they were only selling on the tour autographed ones. So I'm that's fine. I have their autograph on other things, but like you had to buy the autograph for $50.
Is not fine.
And it's a little like I get it's cool and I'm okay with it, but anyway, here's the record autographed by the whole band. It's the gatefold, only one LP, not really needed this, but actually this artwork is incredible. And it comes with a lyric sheet with great illustrations that are an extension of the album artwork by Vince Locke, the one and only. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if you can appreciate this here. It's like a platter of food, but it's like a head and feet. There's other ones on the back. It's really nicely done. Did not come in the mylar. Should have, especially because I had to take this thing home with autographs on it.
At $50,
you need to at least be in a goddamn mylar.
You should be entered. It should be entered and outered.
Yeah,
that shouldn't. That's bullshit.
But anyway,
no. I will fight Corpse Grinder now.
You will not. You will lose.
I will just go. Come on, we're gonna fight. I love you.
I mentioned that show. They co-headlined with Mayhem, and people left after Mayhem. Like 10% of the crowd, 15% of the crowd left. I was ashamed of them. But anyway, here's this beautiful vinyl with the cool album cover sticker on the label, and this very cool, I guess, somewhat translucent blue smoke. Is that right?
I would call that a teal smoke, but
yeah.
Not
but anyway,
blue.
The blue is a nice contrast to the dark black and red of the... I feel like black and red are the primary colors of all Cannibal Corpse albums anyway. So the vinyl having a cool sort of opposite color, contrast color, I find to be nice. Great show, great album. Super stoked. Glad to have it in the collection.
Alrighty then, on to my shirt check. If you like Doom and you like funerals, if you need only 4 songs over the course of 2 LPs, Come Back to Town,
I hear you. Being that it was just New York Comic Con, I am wearing my Dirk Manning shirt, Master of Nightmares, with the Metallica spoof font. If you're not familiar with Dirk Manning, he is not only a great metalhead, he is a great comic books and graphic novelist writer. He's also got a book on writing called On Writing. That's really great if you write anything, but it's particularly helpful to me. I'm a big fan. I interviewed him at New York Comic Con some time ago, and he's super successful, and I'm really proud of him, and he's very cool.
Whoop.
That's my shirt check.
I don't have a news story to talk about this week. Well, I don't have anything. Things happened.
Keefy Claus is coming to town. I mean,
take that back. I do have something to talk about. This week we learned that Mr. Udo died. Mr. Udo is the Japanese promoter who brought the Beatles, who brought Kiss, who brought Aerosmith, who brought all of the Western music into the Budokan arena. So I'm sure to some people he's a villain, but to me, he's an amazing hero. And all I can say is Utsukara-sama, Udo-sama. Oyasuminasai.
Okay.
Which is thank you for your hard work. Rest well.
I never heard anything about him that wasn't glowing and loving.
Oh, there were like death threats when rock bands would play Budokan.
What?
Budokan was a martial arts arena. It was a sumo arena. And, you know...
I guess they didn't want Cheap Trick and Kiss there.
No, because they sanctify everything there. There's religious ideology involved with a lot of the traditional Japanese sports.
I really would like to go to Japan someday. But I'm not interested in Tokyo that much. I'm sure it's cool.
I very much want to go to Japan, and I worry what lawyer wife is going to eat while we're there.
Feels like I will be overwhelmed by the amount of people in Tokyo. I really want to go to Okinawa and Kyoto.
I wish to go to Kobe.
Interesting, because you like
and Tokyo.
Because you want meat.
Yes, I do want to get an A5 Wagyu, and I figure the cheapest place in the world.
You can get an A5 Wagyu in America.
You know what an A5 Wagyu costs?
A lot of money.
$150.
So is it cheaper in Japan?
I hope.
Japan, it probably
you don't have to ship it around the world frozen all the way. That's probably got to be cheaper.
I don't think it's going to be cheaper.
Well, you know what? The yen is low to the dollar, so we'll find out.
That is also true.
But and as for the news check about Keefy coming to town, it is not this week. There will be another episode before you're here.
Yeah, but they won't hear it until I'm there. And by the time I'm there, we'll be at the show.
Also true.
So this is the time to talk about.
Keefy is coming to town. So if you are from St. Louis, and if there is anything you think I need to take him to that is not the Arch, come on, let's not even. I'm going to point at it and go, that's the big handle. Don't pick us up. Because you don't need to go up in there. It's not that cool. I'm definitely going to take him to Courtesy Diner on Hampton because he has got to eat a slinger. So on Saturday, perhaps Sunday morning, we're going to get out and he's going to have a 1,700 calorie slinger and he has to eat all of it or we won't leave. Do you even know what this thing is?
It's basically, it's like going to Waffle House and getting whatever.
No.
The whole shebang. No. I didn't see meat on that plate, so I hope there's like a side of sausage or bacon.
No. There are no sides. It's hash browns.
Okay.
Covered in eggs.
Right.
Covered in burger.
Oh, okay.
A burger patty.
Okay.
Covered in meat chili.
Interesting.
Covered in cheese.
Does this thing come with a roll of toilet paper?
No, it does not. It comes with a thank you very much for.
It actually comes with saltine crackers.
No, it actually comes with a note that says you're welcome.
I'm already getting bubble guts.
It cures your hangover immediately.
Oh, well, it's very possible we'll be hungover at least twice. I'm looking
especially
forward
after
to
Hockey Night in Canada.
I'm looking forward to it.
The record stores we are definitely going to go to. We are definitely going to go to the Record Space. We're going to go to Planet Score Records.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to Vintage Vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three stores with the best metal selection.
Keeping the antique mall shop.
You want to go to the antique mall? We'll go to the antique.
I'm just
no. Okay. And now
plus, your car is going to putter out and die on the road from trying to go to all these places before.
No, I know the best ways to get there.
All right.
Well, I mean, Planet Score is only 3 miles away.
That's fair.
Record Space is only 4 miles.
And I need to go to Buc-ee's. That's not a St. Louis thing. I just have no.
We'll go to Buc-ee's. We'll go to Buc-ee's. I see no reason to go to Buc-ee's. It is a gas station, and I have an electric car.
They don't have a charging station for the EV vehicles? They don't.
They do have them at some of the. I forget if it's Wawa or the other one. Sheets. I forget which one, but on.
Do you have Wawa and Sheets down there also?
No.
Oh, what a! I was gonna say, what an abundance of riches you have in Missouri.
Yeah, okay. Keefy doesn't understand what it's like to. No, don't ever do that again. Keefy doesn't understand what it's like to live in the Midwest. What is the longest road trip you've ever been on?
Are you talking about a flight or a drive?
No, a road trip. Get in the car.
I drove from Boston to Trois-Rivières, Canada, and back with 2 stops.
How long is that?
It was like 18 hours.
There and back is 18 hours?
Through the length of Maine.
Okay.
And
The
into
longest
Canada, through northern Maine, into Canada, to Quebec City, and then down another hour and a half, 2 hours to Trois-Rivières, or whatever it is.
just say Three Rivers. That's what the English Canadians say.
I mean, it's not called Three Rivers. It's called Trois-Rivières.
No, it is not. It's called Trois Rivières.
Well, whatever. I'm not
Just
French
say-
or Canadian,
just
and they are
say Three
insulted when
Rivers.
Americans try to speak French. I got that firsthand because I was
Just
like
say-
croissant, and they were like, "Stop,
Just say
dude, just say croissant."
just say Three Rivers.
Okay,
That means Three Rivers.
I'm well aware,
Okay.
pal, buddy, guy.
Okay, so a 9-hour road trip for us is Midland. That's my longest road trip is from St. Louis to DC and back. Actually, our last road trip I think was 2,500 total miles. So yes, I have been to Sheetz. I have been to Wawa. I haven't been to Buc-ee's though. I have an electric car. I have an electric car. This is dumb.
The whole line of questioning is thrown out. I object. Anyway,
Like Black Sabbath, man. It's electric.
okay.
And I unironically turn up Fuel by Metallica to insane volumes whenever it comes on.
Well, we will very likely be hearing it at least once on next weekend. Maybe not at all, but probably once.
I fully expect that we're
They
going to
love
hear
doing it.
Fuel. Yeah,
They love doing
I
it.
think that's James's favorite song off the loads.
I think this is maybe one of his favorite songs, period.
Well, at the time that they wrote that song, he was huge, and probably still is, but huge into cars. That was like
Yeah.
his deal.
He sold off most of his collection. The shame of the Fuel video is it ripped off a much superior video by Anthrax called Fueled with a D. Go look it up.
Now, the
Not
shame
the
of that
same.
video is that it never got played.
I remember seeing it.
I saw it when I bought the DVD.
Okay. Literally, the video is a ripoff of the Anthrax video.
I recall the
video.
Anthrax video.
It's the same
I know.
video.
They also stole, All Nightmare Long. The video for All Nightmare Long was stolen as well.
Yeah,
Completely
and the cover
stolen.
of Hardwired is from... we
From,
don't know who
that's from
Crowbar
Banky-
is.
That's from Banky's T-shirt.
It's from Crowbar.
Banky's T-shirt. From Mallrats.
I'm the news this week, but I have 2 news items.
I'm sorry, not Banky. Brody. Brody's T-shirt.
Fucky. It's Brody. I said
No,
fucky.
no. It is Banky. No, it is
Is
fucky.
there any boogers in this coffee? Taste the booger flavor. That's
I
right.
know it's in there.
Blonde. Get me a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid to get me a coffee.
I want
Shaka.
clean it up. No, give me a blonde hair, blue-eyed white boy, because I want to enjoy that shit. Make it clean it up in front of me.
Shaka Malik.
Shaka Luther King.
Shaka Luther King. Sorry. So this is bizarre. This story is a little bizarre. I don't know. There is a new box set coming out. Do you know At the Drive-In or Mars Volta? The Mars
Volta, not really well. I remember listening to one of their albums that I got from the library and enjoying it kind of, but that's as far as it ever went for me.
Right. So various side projects, solo projects from the 2 main leads of the band, and Omar Rodriguez-Lopez is one of the founders, and he has a 59 LP box set coming out. 59 LP boxed set. Limited to 500.
That many.
I have no doubt they will sell out. This guy's legion of
This sounds
fans
like
is...
what Experience Hendrix is doing. It's like, oh, it's such and such song, take 15, which if you go to the other Experience, it's Crash Landing, take 25. And then you read the liner notes, oh, it was the master take. And then you go to the next record and it's Crash Landing, take 27, and then they give liner notes on that. That's why I stopped buying them.
Accurate and very fair. Um, so yeah, that's a whole ass mood.
Why in the hell would you? It's gonna be $4,000.
Apparently, all these records have been out before. Actually, if you want, I'll go look up how much it is right now because now I'm kind of curious. All these records have been released digitally. This guy's a prolific artist, obviously, where he puts out stuff all the time.
He's got a bucket head going on.
And he's on Cloud Hill Music. It's a huge label. 57 LP box set.
Once you get past 30, I don't think we need to be that exact.
Amor de Francis is the name of the collection. 59 albums, including records that have only been digitally available until now, 2 previously unreleased records, only 2. The collection contains highlights like the collaborative record with John Frusciante, the chaotic but beloved Cryptomnesia, the more accessible Solar Gambling, and other things. And so let's go look at how much this thing is. North America only. Let's see. And it looks beautiful.
Where would you put it?
You pre-order on October 30th. Does this have a price? 5 days, 15 hours, and 10 minutes until you can actually order it.
Does it come with a...
Tell me how good you are at your conversion of dollars to cents. How much did you say this was going to be? $4,000? €14.99 is how much in American dollars.
That's it?
I thought it would be more.
$1,350? $1,350?
I would feel like, but times 500. That's quite a take home pay.
That's it. I mean, that's okay. Let's assume I'm right on my conversion. I haven't checked the euro conversion in a minute. 57.
I'm in the U.S.
Oh,
store.
that's $24 per disc.
Yeah, so it's about right. I guess it's about right.
That's like when Kiss released Kissteria. Every album they've ever released on vinyl, excepting Sonic Boom, because they could not release Sonic Boom because Walmart owns the rights to it. And they put 4 albums in there that had never been released on vinyl, one of them being Greatest Kiss. Greatest Kiss has 1 unreleased track. It has a live version of Shout It Out Loud from Detroit Rock City. So people would buy these things and then sell those discs. It was $1,000, I think, or $1,800 for the set. And then people would buy it and then sell those 4 albums at like $500 a piece.
Fascinating. So I have a Kiss news item you don't have for a change. Shocking. Are you familiar?
We are enemies now.
We are not. You would not have picked this news story. Are you familiar with the band Amber Wild?
Yes. I didn't tell this? Okay. I know what this is, but no, I did not mention it. You go ahead.
So this is the band led by Evan Stanley, the son of Stanley Eisen, a.k.a. Paul Stanley.
Formerly called, and you might know them better under this name, formerly Amber Waves.
That's right. Why did they have to change? Is that like a porn star?
And Amber Waves, and Amber Wild. I mean, the porn star is most likely Amber Wild.
Oh, I don't know.
That would be my. I mean, that's my guess.
So Evan leads.
If I were a pair of twin sister porn stars, though,
you went way extra on this.
I'm sorry.
So they released they were on Aftershock Festival, and according to a spy that I had there, I was not there. I was in Reno, getting this.
Getting the Bunny Ranch.
Was not at the Bunny Ranch, sir. My special lady friend is coming to town right now, so I don't need to go to a Bunny Ranch. I'm on YouTube. I'm cute. I have my own resources. Anyway, didn't know how else to put that politely for family listeners. Amber Wild performed at Aftershock, and apparently performed at Aftershock. That sounds bad. They were apparently great. One of the best bands of the day, according to my friend, who's a very harsh critic of music. And so they put out a double single, Breakout and Silver, and I have listened to these songs, and they're good.
I listened
and they
to
are opening
Breakout,
for Kiss.
and I got about halfway, It
All
it
right.
sounded it sounded to me. I mean, not that I was disgusted or angry. I was listening to something else, and it just came across it. I felt Wild. Amber Wild is, fairly good, vintagey 70s kind of, a little bit Kiss, a little bit modern, a nice little change up. And I felt like that the music would be something I would appreciate much, much more in a live setting than listening to it, via YouTube on my shitty headphones.
Fair
But
enough.
no, definitely not bad. And,
Not bad.
good for him. I did see a lot of negative reactions for Paul having his son opening for the final Kiss shows. Like, oh, they couldn't get a good opening act.
They
So
have
we
never
deserve,
picked a good opening act
like,
in their
oh,
whole
we deserve
life.
Cheap Trick. We deserve the Ace
The
Frehley band and the Bruce Kulick band.
the
And
last good opening act Kiss had was in 1997 when Alice in Chains opened a couple of shows for them. That's
I
it.
actually was at one of those
You told
shows.
me. I'm jealous of you. I'm very jealous of you.
No, it was not good. It
Oh
was
no.
one of the, I have been very, very lucky over the course of the years. I think with shows that I've seen, I can only name two or three bad shows, and that's one of them. It was they were done. Cantrell didn't move. Staley didn't move. Mike Inez was trying so hard to inject some energy into it, and it was just. And then I found out that run of shows, which was only like 4 or 5, that was it. That was their last run. You're on mute, bro.
That was their last shows with Lane. That's correct.
Yeah.
So anyway, Amber Wild will be watching your career with great interest.
Oh, okay, Chancellor Palpatine.
Have you ever
Man,
heard of the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
oh, that's not a story that Jedi would tell you. I wonder how
The
I know
dark
it.
side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some would call unnatural.
But you know what's totally natural? Picking shit up and just whacking people in the head with it. Totally natural. What else? May I?
You may.
Let us head into the wacky, wild year of 1994. 1994, one of the most amazing things in the world happens. Nick Cameron returns to St. Louis. I came back to where I belong, on this side of the river, in this stupid ass hillbilly red state. Oh, it all worked out. Anyway, 1994 is midterms, and midterms are important. But before we get to that, let's go back a little bit deeper. In 1994, what drops? Okay, scammers, go away.
Far Beyond Driven by Pantera.
The Sega Saturn.
Oh.
1995, what drops?
I don't know.
The PlayStation 2. In 1996, what happens?
I don't know.
As you can tell, these are non-scripted. What happens is the FCC Act of 1996. What do video games and the FCC Act of 1996 have in common? What did they do in concert?
The rated E for everyone, the rating systems, no?
No. They conspired to destroy music, the recording music industry. In 1991, in 1992, if you were playing video games, you were a complete and total nerd. In 1994, 1995, and 1996, of course you had a PlayStation. Of course you were playing Madden. Who didn't play Madden, brah? You could even play fishing games and go hunting. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So what that did was that took a lot of disposable income out. Then you go into the FCC Act of 1996, which what that did was it completely ruined the terrestrial radio industry, which gave rise to the obviously satellite, but I think satellite sucks even worse than terrestrial. Besides the point. So what does that make 1994, Nick? What are you talking about? What I'm talking about is the last gasp. This is the last gasp, the last grope of mainstream popular rock music and metal. So what happens during this time? GWAR found themselves on their last album in a little bit of controversy. regarding the cuttlefish of Cthulhu. I actually sent a friend of mine, I convinced a friend at work to Google cuttlefish of Cthulhu at work. He immediately regretted it and said, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Are you trying to get people fired from your job?
No, you
Nick, the workplace terrorist.
no, to get fired at my office, you got to like steal from them. I mean, that's they're very loyal.
Okay.
I also Googled it too, just to, but then I can blame it on him because he did it first. Hey, anyway, so
Do not Google old seamen at your job. You will be shocked at what you find.
all right, I'm going to drink that away. Moving on. So, what happens to GWAR after the cuttlefish of Cthulhu? What is better than controversy for a shock rock band? Nothing. So, controversy. A Grammy between 1992 and 1994, they have a wild amount of controversy. They have a wild amount of publicity and a Grammy nomination. I wish they would have won, because then we would have YouTube clips forever.
I also wish they would have won.
We would have Grammy.
They went to the Grammys. You can see pictures of them at the Grammys in their full gear.
Of course, that's
in
what would have been amazing.
Costumes.
Seeing Odorous Arungus with the cuttlefish
sitting next to, like Katie Lang and Annie Lennox and
because I can
Naughty by Nature.
I can picture his acceptance speech. In his acceptance speech, he would take the cuttlefish off and put it on the table in front of him. And then he would put the Grammy in its place. Or take the cuttlefish and try to put it into the Grammy.
I mean, I think he would, take the cuttlefish and spray the front row with fluids. Mask
it's not taking a whole lot of time for me to come up with amazing things that could have happened.
Yeah, great.
So all this happens. And around the same time, trash TV is growing. We are just weeks away from Ricky Lake being a sensation. Jenny Jones is going. And the granddaddy of them all, the man, the myth, the legend, the politician who paid for his bunny, with a personal check while he was mayor of Cincinnati, Jerry Springer. By the way,
he left out Morton Downey Jr.
Pretty sure he was dead at this time.
No.
He did not live long.
He was definitely in his heyday.
Apparently, you cannot smoke 8 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yeah, that's also true.
So we have Jerry Springer. Morton Downey Jr., legend. I'm just teasing. I know.
You know when Jim Fix died? Frickin' jogging, that's when. Go ahead. Sorry, I had to just throw
Thank you, Dennis Leary. About 2 smokers found him. Let's get to the store and get some smokes.
Oh, is that Jim Fix? What a shame. Let's go to the store and get some more butts.
Smoke it down to the butt. That's where the heroin is.
And smoke it down to the filter. That's where they keep the heroin.
May I?
You may.
Quit being me. Let me be that guy.
Sorry.
We can't both be that guy. This will last.
We can't both be that guy. What are we gonna do in person? We're gonna the world's gonna unmake itself with our president.
Dutch rudders, I assume.
I guess.
Where was I? So Jerry Springer. They bring GWAR onto Jerry Springer. Oh, I'm sorry, Morton Downey Jr. Let me finish that thought. Morton Downey Jr., absolute legend. The difference was Morton Downey Jr. was not national. He was New York. Ricky Lake, Jerry Springer, syndicated, cross country. Oprah Winfrey, of course. I did get to watch Morton Downey Jr. a little bit here and there in the late 80s on WWOR, the New York Superstation. But I could only watch that after I moved to Southern Illinois because that superstation was not on the St. Louis cable network. We only had WGN and WTBS. So that's why Morton Downey Jr. does not qualify. I apologize. God rest him. And I think God rest Jerry Springer. Pretty sure he died too. I don't think he lived a clean life. Anywho, so GWAR gets to go on Jerry Springer and do their thing. And of course, they're there. They're in all their gear. So you have controversy, notoriety, publicity, Grammy, and nationwide talk shows. What happens when you're a little weasel that everyone can see? You draw attention to yourself. So GWAR goes from this little band that plays 500-seater, 1,000-seaters to this huge band that plays 1,000-seaters still. But now they're on TV. Now people have heard of them. MTV has heard of them. MTV is playing Saddam a Go-Go. Oh, God, I cannot wait to get to that song. But so now we have one of their albums to be censored. In fact, the backlist of the track listing did not have all the songs. Did you know that? The most offensive song on the entire record was not listed on the back cover originally. BDF. And I will not say what that means. Oh God. I need you to take over for a minute. I need a break.
We didn't even get to the tracks yet. Nick is verklempt. Pick a topic. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss.
Here, trivia. What was Wayne Gretzky's first team?
I mean, high school?
Professional.
I mean, some kind of junior
Gretzky
hockey
did not
Canada.
play in high school. You don't play high school hockey in Canada.
Junior hockey?
No, professional.
I don't know.
The Indiana Racers. He wore number 15. His nickname was Brinks because his contract was so big. He
was money in the bank.
Yes, he was. Sorry. I got my setup in. What do you got to say?
Epic rap battles of history. Tony Hawk. Once again, Tony Hawk versus Wayne Gretzky. We have so many world records between us. And I've got 183 of the 184 the two of us have together.
I wasn't going to mention this, but now, since you brought up Tony Hawk, I kind of have to. Francis Bean Cobain married Riley Hawk in a ceremony officiated by Michael Stipe.
The whole world is going to be unmade by this. They're going to make babies that are going to make Franklin Richards from the Fantastic Four or Nathaniel Summers from the X-Men look like Chucky. It's going to be wild.
The most 90s thing I could think of. Like,
it is pretty cool.
It's a convergence of the force.
I hope they're happy.
I do too.
I'm always rooting for Frances Bean. I think she's had a tough time.
I'm always rooting for love and joy. Wow, that sounded not like you believe me.
No. I mean, it seems sincere, but I don't know.
My best friend in the world cannot tell when I'm being sarcastic anymore. My deadpan has gotten so dead that I think when I deadpan, I don't even have a pulse anymore. None of that was true.
Okay.
It was all true. What wasn't true is when I said it wasn't true.
Fair enough, bro.
Start talking or I'm going to start sounding like a dick even more.
A couple of interesting factoids about this Toilet Earth. On Spotify...
The album or where we're sitting?
The album.
Oh, okay.
On Spotify, which Nick doesn't really use, the artwork is like bad. It's like a bad version of the artwork. Not wrong.
In fairness, so is my record. It's one of those not done well.
But like literally the graphic art on Spotify is poor. It's like they screen grabbed it and stuck it on there like they don't care. Whoever was.
That's what my vinyl looks like. Seriously. But it's one of the coolest records. It's half red, half black.
One of the things that not only was this album played in regular rotation, because metal was being played a lot on MTV at this time, Metallica, Anthrax, you can make a case, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Living Colour, even in 1994, has some very metal songs on MTV.
Stained. We should point out that we are... At the point of the release of this record, we are literally weeks away from the death of Headbangers Ball.
Oh.
To be replaced by Super Rock.
I think that's 95, but okay.
Is it 95? I thought it was 94.
Yes, it's the summer of 95. But
that's still weeks. Still weeks.
I mean, 52
A lot
weeks.
of them. A couple weeks.
One of the things that propelled this record was the fact that not only was it on MTV, it was on Beavis and Butthead in a very early episode of Beavis and Butthead, to which Beavis freaks out hearing Sadama Go-Go and starts copying Odorous and his cadence of rapping, kind of rapping, right? Like da 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 da.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great moment for Beavis and Butthead. It was a great moment for GWAR. And then, by the way, the Beavis and Butthead video game that was to come out a few years later, the object of the game, get enough points to get money to go to a GWAR concert.
Nice.
Pretty damn cool. So I have really nothing else to add. I will say we'll talk about it in the course of the record, but I can't help but feel like Black Album, Metallica, grunge, Sound of White Noise, Anthrax, and a resurgence of punk rock all rear their ugly head in this album.
You left out ska.
There's some ska. There's definitely some Boss Tones Warp Tour first year ska happening.
Oh yeah, this is like 2.5 wave ska with GWAR.
But yeah,
We should mention that this album, this tour, all of this business also got them onto a mainstream movie. In 1995, Empire Records comes out, and when one of the main characters has a pot-induced hallucination, he envisions Odorous Sarungus speaking to him directly as he's watching a GWAR live video.
Fun fact, a month from today, I am going to see Empire Records in a theater here in San Francisco.
For Rex Manning Day?
Narrated by John Cusack for Rex Manning. I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to that.
That is beautiful in a way that I don't even want to talk about. Fucking hobbits. Sorry,
Let's get it on.
I made the mistake of convincing my wife to stay home and watch Hobbit movies, and I made the prior mistake the year before of buying the extended cuts of those Hobbit movies. So whenever we watch 2 minutes of any Hobbit movie, we have to watch all 4 hours of every Hobbit movie.
You bust out, a wizard is never late. He is precisely where he means to be at all times.
We are presently 5.5 hours into the Walking Tree movies.
Those movies sucked. Are we going to do that one too? The Samwise Suckfest.
If he really wanted to give me an Academy Award worthy ending.
One ring to rule them all.
Look at you whipping out your preciouses at each other.
One ring to find them.
Oh, you got to forgive my friend. He's not down with the trilogy. Oh, what happened to this world? There's only one trilogy.
World. And it ain't of the king. It's of the Jedi.
Of the Jedi. No, that's Return.
There's only one Return, and it ain't of the king. It's of the Jedi.
Of the Jedi. All right, let's move on to the record itself, because we're going to start doing amazing quotes that
we're not going to accomplish anything when I'm in town, because we're going to be doing this shit 24/7. I don't know how we're going to live with ourselves.
Without pants. Anyway, moving on. Let us talk about the record. This record has 16 tracks. I am happy to speak about glowingly about 13 of them. Then there's a couple that give me the cooties. It takes a minute to get there. On this album, we have multiple vocalists as normal. Odorous sings most of it. Beefcake the Mighty gets a couple of rounds. And new villain Skullhead Face, which they were definitely having a very, very creative weekend when they came up with that one, gets a bit. Let's start off with Sadama Go-Go. On the Beavis and Butthead video, on the Beavis and Butthead episode, an amazing video, basically just a live concert video with a little bit of extra, close-ups and all that kind of business going. This song starts off with horns. So, okay. If you're like me and you got on this group based on the strength of tracks of Techno Destructo, I'm in love with a dead dog. How do you react to horns and that badass riff? Well, you just mosh. I mean, it's a great song. I love this song.
I imagine existent GWAR fans were jarred by this song. I mean, initially, when they first, similar to like when you first heard Enter Sandman, the very first time, it was not One, and it was not Dyer's Eve, and it was not Eye of the Beholder, and it was
a
not
new
Battery.
thing.
It was like, what is this? It's a rock song. When you hear Saddam Go-Go, it is unlike any other GWAR song ever to happen. But then it like sinks in, and it's like, oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, agreed.
But I'm sure GWAR fans were probably like, what sellout bullshit is this?
And this is even before third wave ska was a thing. So I made the joke of 2.5 wave ska because, this is a couple of years ahead of, no doubt, a couple of years ahead of, God, who are those people with the beers on basketball? Real Big Fish. Sorry, I'm not a ska person.
Bowling for Soup.
They were ska.
No Effects. Early Blink 182. Rancid.
Wow, you're just naming these bands I really hate.
Oh no,
I do. I cannot stand. I can love them. I don't know what they are. They're a whole other thing. But Someday I Suppose is one of the greatest tracks of the 90s.
I never knocked on wood. Not an innuendo.
There's a verse I was going to write. I haven't yet. Still a chance I could.
It's the impression that I get.
Yeah. Let's move on to Penis, I See. Okay. Have you ever heard An American Prayer by Jim Morrison and the Doors?
Yes.
There's an ode to my cock, sore and crucified, I seek to know thee. This ain't that. Actually, it kind of is. It's people that are really obsessed with their members, singing an ode to their members. Paul Stanley, looking at you. Also, Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, Peter Criss, and everyone else who was in Kiss That Ever Wrote a Song. But you know what? It's fun. It's fun and funny. What can you say?
It is a funny track. I think could have came up with a better title, but it's a good track.
Completely agree. And at some point in time, we're going to get into a story, I assume. We haven't yet. Next, we get into Eat Steel, vocals by Beefcake the Mighty. I don't know how they say it, but that's how they should say it. You know what? The thing about Beefcake is this guy, whoever's portraying him at this point, which it is, 2 seconds.
Michael Bishop.
Yes, Michael Bishop.
Who is all over this record.
Michael Bishop could have been an amazing grindcore vocalist.
I mean, he is an amazing. Again, Ex-Cops. He's got other bands where he's the main vocalist also.
He straight up could have joined Napalm Death.
He should have, yeah.
Eat Steel, 90 seconds. I mean, this is grindcore. And
top 3 song on the whole album, I'm pretty sure.
No, but I appreciate you saying that.
Top 3 song to me.
Witty Comeback, Not Found. What we have now.
Declare writ of habeas corpus. Go ahead, Nick.
Do I need to bring in Lawyer Wife for some legal terms? I know a couple. Get some voir dire up in this bitch. That's jury selection, by the way, so that's not really. Anywho, what we are now seeing is GWAR really stretching out. And I think this is a great time to mention. When I saw them, and I've only seen GWAR one time, I saw them on the Sounds of the Underground, which I believe I've spoken about during the series already. They had become a completely different band than that first record. And as everybody knows, as I mentioned at length, I still hold Hello in a very special place. I think it's your first love with a band. And I think that sentimentality always means something very special. But when I saw them, they had become a very, very different band. And then when you get into later records, even from that time frame, Lust in Space, and they've become a full-on nu metal band at that point. GWAR has always been a stylistic chameleon. So you have Saddam Go-Go, which is almost ska core and a little bit of rap rock. You have Eat Steel, which is now grindcore. They are comfortable moving in and out of styles in order to further their story along. Which, if you are desiring to tell a story, the ability to change coats, as it were, before coming in the door is going to make a great, great advantage for you. Thoughts?
I love this song. I have very little else to say. I think it's a great song, great delivery. And what I think we start to see is the things that used to be little interludes and snippets. This album is not really a concept album. I think the last one set the bar very high for the story. And the story is not as interconnected here. But what used to be little sketches and skits are now just mini songs where they took the sketch and the skit into a whole bit.
Yeah,
But
they
not,
talked about Antarctica and penguins,
not
and
too
then they
long.
had the song about it
Right.
on Hello.
Not this bad. Not this. Not as drawn out here, but I like it.
I think with this one, what we have is several dozen vignettes of the story. This album is definitely not a concept album, as you said. But what it does do is it's just episodes. It's pages in a book. They may not be in order, they may not be coherent, but they're there. Next, we move into Abusing the Cuttlefish of Cthulhu. Jack the World. This song is exactly what you think it's about. You want riffs? All right. You need some double bass? Done. You need the creepiest ass lyrics they've ever come up with so far on this record to be outdone in about 4 tracks? Got it too.
It's heavy, but it's not that great. That's just my opinion.
Overcompensating. Next, we move on into, in my humble opinion, probably the worst song on the record, Sounder Commando. And the great thing about this song, which is, in my opinion, the worst song on the record, it is basically the longest song on the record. So, fuck you guys. Fuck you very much. Basically, the song is about how tough they are and how they'll do the orders and whatever. Don't need it. Cut it.
I think the Skullhead Face song's a little longer, but yeah, this is fully unnecessary. I rest my case.
Yeah, moving on. Bad, Bad Men. Here we are setting up Skullhead Face a little bit. Shorter, good. Dirty, good. All right.
Yeah, this is a good one. This one kind of brings me back a little bit to the earlier records. I like this one.
I didn't get that from it. I wish it did. Nothing has ever really brought me back to the early records ever. I mean, they're just like how Metallica's never brought me back to the early records. They moved past what they did, and now they do other things. That's fine. Pepperoni. Oh my. Oh my.
Subtlety has had its day, and it does not exist on this record.
No. I think so far this is the most in-your-face Dutch ruddery, salty, creamy, sticky.
Is that a pearl necklace? I see.
Record.
How about the singing on Pepperoni? Let's talk about Pepperoni vocally.
I don't remember it. Go ahead.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. He croons a little bit. He's it's sometimes rageful, sometimes it's just crooning.
Okay. You know what? Sometimes things just happen that. Yeah, that song happened. Moving on to the insidious soliloquy of Skullhead Face. Let's see who played Skullhead Face. I don't have that information.
I don't know who it is either.
The insidious soliloquy of Skullhead Face. Skullhead Face is an interesting character. Definitely very big in the movie accompaniment from this album. And you know what? It lacks the gravitas, as it were, of other villainous songs. Not bad, but it's no Techno Destructo for sure. And it's definitely no God. What was the one from the last one?
GWAR.
No. The villain song. The lady that brought out the Morality Squad.
I already forgot. That's how awesome it was.
The Morality Squad. Edna P. Granbo.
Right, Rambo.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like that one. I like that one better than this one.
All right. Um,
Uh-oh.
the
Uh-oh.
the track that is not on Spotify, the track that got them in a lot of trouble, is the next one. Do you want me to take this one?
This song sucks. And
Well,
is
not only, but yeah, like
no, there's no but.
they
It
got in a
sucks.
lot of trouble for a 2 minute and a half song.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. They should have. This is
May I?
yeah.
We must talk about it. We cannot ignore it. We cannot shy away. We cannot turn
This
away,
is the
avert
track
our
that was
gaze away from this. We must look straight at it.
this track was not on. This is the one that was not on the back of the record.
This is the musical equivalent of shirt cocking baby
No,
dick fuck.
no, shirt cocking. It's funny. This is
Pedophilia, prenatal rape. I
it's
don't like
not.
rape. Rape is never funny, actually.
This is
But like they
this is
got
a
in a lot of like they committed to this
bridge too
hard,
far.
and they got in trouble because basically what happened is Warner Brothers was like, hey, you know what we'll do? We'll give Metal Blade a distribution deal to put out some of their biggest bands, Cannibal Corpse and GWAR. Who knew? On the same label
Everyone
as
else.
Wilson Phillips and stuff like that on Warner Brothers. And the band drew a line in the sand with the cuttlefish and said, we're not getting rid of this song. And so suddenly they had a record and a new movie supporting this record and no distribution platform because Warner Brothers ripped up the contract.
The thing is this song isn't even good.
Strange Hill to Die On. They really
It's a
love this.
stupid hill to die on.
They lost a lot of
No,
money.
actually, I get it. What they're saying is our art can never be compromised. Sure, this isn't necessary. Sure, this song kind of blows, but if we get rid of this one, we might have to get rid of a good one later. What they should have done is let Warner rip up the contract and then just thrown it away. That would have been punk. Anyway, moving on into Fight. More vocals by Beefcake the Mighty. Does not even hit a minute. Certainly does not overstay its welcome.
It's a pretty good track. I like the Beefcake songs, man. They're punk rock, they're metal. His voice is great.
I
I
love
like,
his
you know,
voice.
you said in the last episode that Brocky, considering how like dominant he was in the group once he kind of kicked out Hunter and took his shit away. I mean, for him to share half, you know, maybe not half, the third of this record with Beefcake is impressive.
Not even that much, but he shares a lot. Every GWAR record has multiple vocalists. No reason for him to do that. It's pretty awesome. But just in case you had forgotten, Odorous Orungus is the vocalist, and next we get to the issue of Tissue, Space Cake. I actually really like this one. It's very like jazzy, very
Right? He's like crooning.
mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think Space Cake is?
Mm-hmm. Exactly what we all think it is, I assume. I mean, right. I mean,
Mandu.
at this point in time, it's like that episode of that moment in Married with Children when Peg is talking to her neighbor, Marcy, and she says something about, "Oh, men don't do that kind of thing. They just sit around with their hand in their pants trying to think up new names for boobs." And that is what this record is, except that it's not boobs. It's I mean, when you make yourself a penile extension and you name it Cuttlefish of Cthulhu, I just figure everything is just about renaming that particular appendage, if you take my meaning. And then we move into the next track, Pocket Pool. All right then.
Leaving nothing to the imagination. These couple of songs.
No, they might as well call the next track Song to Joe 2.
There's a hardcore band right now called Bro Job, which is about the best name ever.
Is it though?
It is.
Okay.
These songs should be covered by Bro Job.
All righty. Let's crash on through the rest of this record. Slap You Around, an ode to domestic violence.
Not good.
Yeah. No.
Thumbs
Good
down.
vocals. Thumbs down. Crackdown. Thumbs up.
Love Crackdown.
Filthy Flow did not hold. Obliteration of Flab Quarv 7. What makes it significant is it furthers the story. Other than that, forgettable track.
Yeah, this record is, no pun
Uneven.
intended, up and down. I knew as the words came out of my mouth, Nick was going to almost spew his beer.
We are getting close to the end of the episode, and I still have beer left, so I got to chug this down. And of course, look at the size. If you're on YouTube, look at the size of this mug. This mug is not insignificant. It's heavy.
What does Homer Simpson say about the water in Springfield?
I don't care.
If it's brown, drink it down. If it's black, send it back.
I don't see how that relates to this, but yes, I completely agree. This record is completely uneven. The highs are so high, the lows are so low, and I think they finally found the limit to where they could go, because they're always pushing, they're always trudging, but it's easy to be the avant-garde, rude kind of kids when you get 20 people to your shows, when you're not on nationwide television, when you are not on the Grammys. But the moment you start playing, the moment your cuttlefish goes to the big lake instead of the small pond. You like that? You like that?
I do.
Okay. It's one thing to be a criminal where in a crime-ridden neighborhood. Once you take your crime to the suburbs, it's different. And that's how this is.
It's a strange analogy, but I also agree with it.
Hear me out. It's not strange. It's spectacular.
Okay.
May I?
You may.
I'm about to drop some amazing wisdom. Yeah, good. Mute it. Stay muted. I'll tell you when to unmute. So what you have is, on their first 3 records, they are dropping this horrifically silly, offensive metal to the initiated, to the people that have been listening to Iron Maiden, to Slayer, to Pantera. Keep in mind, Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills is less than a year old at this point. Now they're peddling this music to the suburbs. Did you ever watch X-Files? Okay, on X-Files, there was an episode they did in Missouri, in Creve Coeur, Missouri. They showed Creve Coeur, Missouri as a cow town, as a crime-ridden hellhole. And the people in Creve Coeur wrote Fox a letter, because that's not what they are. That's white bread, McMansion town. And that's what happened, is GWAR has now gotten into the suburbs, the white breads. So when you're the dirtiest pig in the in the Waller, you're just pig. When you're the dirtiest pig in the house, you're a fucking dirty pig. Unmute now.
I like how authoritative that ending was. Wow. Going out on
my family were farmers.
Jesus. We're not ranking all the albums here, but this is definitely a step down from the last one, right? And
this is the worst record so far.
No, very little Slimenstra after she made a humongous splash on the last record.
Is she even, backing vocals is what they're listed as?
Here. And then Scott Krall is the Skullhead Face, and it clearly didn't take off. So.
Oh, that's who did Skullhead Face. Scott Krall.
And I guess the only other factoid that I know about this record is right after this happened, they were on tour and Peter got shot. Flatus, Peter Lee. And Bishop ends up leaving as Beefcake, and Casey Orr takes over, which, as we'll discuss next week. So yeah, changes to come, but this album's a step down, just my personal opinion.
What I like about this record is they tried to do new things. What I don't like about this record is they didn't always succeed on those new things. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I do own this record. I have bought it multiple times on CD and vinyl. And I don't regret it because you know what? It's worth it just to have that 2 minutes and 20 seconds of Sadama Go-Go. That is one of my absolute favorite GWAR tunes. It's very different and very awesome.
Top 10
And
GWAR song ever. Maybe top
completely,
5.
completely. And I have
It
nothing
is
else to
their
say on this
most
record.
streamed or second most streamed song.
I've watched in terms of what I watch on YouTube, it is definitely Sadama Go-Go every time because that's the only one that's the only single I can remember that I love. I don't like Sick of You as much as you do, and I don't believe there were any videos of Hello.
If you've got nothing else, it's your turn to do the outro. Take us on home, Brother Clock.
Thank you very much, Keefy. Thank you for joining me every week. The fact that you come, lend credence, lend street cred, lend faith and Begora and thanks. I don't know. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. I love our time together. I cannot wait for you to be in my town so we can really get GWAR'd up. Sorry, I've been listening to a lot of GWAR. My brain is going in weird places that I don't like. Everyone who has been listening, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I love you. I love the fact that you come back to these episodes week after week. We love bringing them to you. You know, we would like to bring them to you, to your brother, your friends, and your cousins in Montana. In order for us to be able to do that, we are small content creators, and we would love to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because the bigger it is, the more fun it is, and the more real it is. And you know what? I need the validation. I need the validation. So if you could validate me by giving me a star review on whatever podcast app you listen to, if you're watching this on YouTube, am I attractive? Actually, don't answer that. I know the answer. I'll tell you what I tell everybody. I'm hot enough for everything I need. So if you could give us a thumbs up, and I know it's so ridiculous to say that, but the algorithm, the mighty algorithm, is as mighty as Beefcake the Mighty. And the algorithm is strong enough to steal the cuttlefish of Cthulhu. So we all must bow down to it. So if you could give a thumbs up, leave a comment. The integration is what makes everything wonderful. That's what YouTube loves. YouTube loves the interaction of the creator and the audience. And if you could subscribe, that would be great. I would love to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. It's been a slow climb. There, every subscriber, thank you. So thumbs up, subscribe, rate, review. And with that, this has been the Glacially Musical Podcast. It does not play in Peoria, and watch out for the cuttlefish there. It's coming.
Space Cake.